Hey everyone, welcome to the presentation. My name is Ezra Firestone. This presentation is on the hidden traffic source. I know it sounds kind of wild. Before we get into it, my name is Ezra. My businesses will do around $30 million in revenue this year. I've got 65 plus employees. I tell you that because that is social proof in this environment. That lets you know that I know what I'm doing. I am really good at e-commerce. I'm really good at internet business. I've been doing it over a decade now. I love it. It's what I do with my work life, and I'm really passionate about it. And I appreciate you spending time with me on this presentation. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to think about how to grow your business and to use me as a resource to help you with that. And I intend to help you with that. I'm going to do about an hour of content on how to grow your business using a new traffic source that it's not so new, actually. And then I'm going to offer you something for sale. I'm going to give you the opportunity to buy something from me if you're interested. If you're not interested, I promise you that's okay. That the hour that you spend with me will be well spent. You will learn a lot. You'll get some ideas and some inspiration and some strategies that you can use in your business. Now, I will come right out and say it. I'll come right out and say it. This presentation is much more relevant for someone who actually has an established brand that is making some amount of sales, okay? Sometimes I do trainings that are about how to get a brand started or how to take a brand that's not really making any money and have it make a lot more money. This particular, get more traffic, get more conversion, whatever it is that we happen to be talking about. This particular presentation on the hidden traffic source is mostly going to be relevant for people who already have established brands. Now, if you don't have an established brand yet, that's okay. That's okay. You could still watch this because learning how to grow your business online, learning how to grow your e-commerce business, get from 6 to 7 figures, 7 to 8 figures, 8 to 9 figures, which is the path that I'm currently on. I'm currently trying to figure out how to go from 8 to 9 figures in my brand. That sort of path, that path that we are traveling, it's kind of like learning a language. And when you're learning a new language, if you've ever done that, some of you have, the more that you listen, the more that you pay attention, the more that you absorb, the better you get at it. And I think e-commerce and online marketing is like that as well. So if you have a brand that is not doing very well, that's not making very much money, that's okay. You'll still get value from this presentation, although I'll just come right out and say it. This presentation is more valuable, way more valuable for folks who already have brands. I do a variety of content. This particular session happens to be for the folks who already have established brands. Now, we're going to go about 90 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to offer you something for sale at the end. If you don't want that, if you're not interested, it's totally cool. You're still going to get a lot of value from this. So let's get started. The hidden traffic source. That's what this presentation is called. Now, I've got a confession, which is that it's actually not very well hidden. So, I call it the hidden traffic source, but it's not really that well hidden. I mainly called it that to get your attention and because it is hiding under the noses of almost everyone. 6 out of 10 e-commerce store owners that I talked to at my event this year were not using this source. And that's a heck of a sample size because I draw in 400, 6, 7, and 8-figure e-commerce business owners from all around the world. Once a year, I do a big event. And I was asking people specifically because I had really been rediscovering over the last, 12 to 18 months, this traffic source that served me so well. Who's using it? And most people were not using it. The ones who were using it weren't using it very effectively. And that kind of blew my mind because this traffic source is the one that I got started on. This traffic source is really where I made my initial money in e-commerce. And it's still to this day very, very profitable for me. This traffic source was responsible for my first $1 million business. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you remember the wig business that I've told you about so much. My first ever e-commerce business was 100% built on this traffic source. And oh yes, that is a 19-year-old Ezra Firestone wearing a blonde mullet wig, which I think actually is just a blonde version of a David Bowie wig I used to sell, but I was selling it as a mullet. Notice some of the conversion rate optimization best practices on this product offer page that I was rocking way back in the day, well over 8 or 9 years ago. I had a isolated call to action button. I had a pre-purchase order bump on the product offer page. I had stamped my image with the logo so you couldn't get it, Anyways, so my very first e-commerce store is built on this traffic source, and nearly everyone right now is focused on Facebook and Instagram as their main traffic sources. And they should be. They should be, because Facebook and Instagram are the easiest sources of visibility to generate if you're going to go out and buy traffic. They're the easiest sources because the self-serve ad platform for Facebook and Instagram is really, really easy to use, right? Super easy to use, that self-serve ad platform. I recommend it. You should be focused on Facebook and Instagram as your main source of buying traffic for your brand. But here's the thing. Not all traffic sources are created equally. And this is the big confusion point, is that not all traffic sources should be used exclusively for awareness level traffic. And this is why I said it's really relevant for folks who already have brands that are doing well, that are successful, that are making money. So if you've been hanging around with me for any amount of time, you know that I look at visibility in 3 pillars. I look at visibility in 3 pillars. These are my 3 pillars of purchasing visibility for a brand if you're buying traffic for an e-commerce brand. Awareness and acquisition, pillar number 1. Retargeting, pillar number 2. Loyalty, pillar number 3. I think most people are only looking at pillar number 1, and they miss out on a profitable and successful business because they forget that actually pillar 2 and pillar 3 are where the real money is made. So pillar 1, awareness and acquisition, is where you get your brand out in front of people who don't know who you are yet. So you're excluding customers, you're excluding subscribers, you're excluding people who've already visited your website, and you're targeting people who look the most like them in a first attempt to generate leads and sales, right? Then pillar number 2, retargeting, is where you're retargeting people who've shown interest in your brand. You're tracking what I call funnel engagement, i.e. you're tracking how far someone made it in your sales process, and you're communicating with them based on consumption, right? That's retargeting. And some people do this, but they don't do it super well, right? They're not doing it as in-depth as they should be. Loyalty is where you're using special deals and promotions and complimentary products to try to get someone who bought one time to buy a second time, right? You're trying to get someone who bought a first time to make a second purchase. And this is where you can make a lot of profit if you're a smart business owner. You can do upsells, cross-sells. You can target people who bought one thing and not another thing. So you can get really aggressive with the loyalty and really, really aggressive with retargeting. So this is how most people are doing it, right? They're using Facebook and Instagram for awareness and acquisition. And then they're using Facebook and Instagram for retargeting. If they're doing retargeting well, which, if you're doing retargeting well, you're retargeting at every funnel event segment, meaning if someone watches a video that you ran on Facebook as an ad and they don't click to your site, you're retargeting the people who watched 50% or more of that video. If they click over to your website, you're retargeting people who visited your product page differently from how you're retargeting people who visited your shopping cart, differently from how you're retargeting people who might have bought from you in the loyalty pillar, right? This is kind of what most people's ads look like and their segments look like if they're doing a good job. But Facebook and Instagram are not the only traffic sources that are good, right? They're not the only traffic sources that you can use to generate visibility, to generate awareness, to generate retargeting sales, loyalty sales. And if you're going to go out there and spend money to generate visibility for your brand, which I very much think you should do, by the way, I very much think you should be out there spending money to generate visibility for your brand, then what you want is that ad spend, the money that you're spending on ads, to result in the highest ROI possible, the highest return on investment or return on ad spend, ROAS, possible. And that's where the hidden, not so hidden, traffic source comes into play for you. Let's take a look at a little bit of data real quick. I'm going to read this to you. A study from the digital marketing agency ROEYE analyzed 110,099 individual sales worth £9.2 million over a period of 11 months across multiple UK retailers and financial service brands, tracking shopping journeys from the first measurable awareness to last click attribution on the purchase. The data found that 7 interactions encompassing 8 different channels: Google AdWords, organic search, affiliates, display ads, blogs, forums, email campaigns, Facebook, and direct to site, produced an average order value of £132 compared to £69 if they had one one touch point. If a user had 3 touch points, i.e. they visited they saw you on Facebook, then they came back and visited your website, then you retargeted them with an email, $92, and 11 touch points, $129. So on average, the point here is on average, consumers made 3 interactions when purchasing online. 3 interactions when purchasing online. Okay? So that's the average number of interactions that happens. A user clicks on an ad, they're going to have to click on it. You're going to have to retarget them or get them on your email list or follow up with them, and they're going to have to touch you 3 times on average before they buy. So you go out there and you spend money on Facebook or Instagram to generate visibility. You know that on average, it's going to take 3 touch points before someone buys, right? But most people are only retargeting on Facebook and Instagram. But why not be everywhere that a user could possibly be, right? So this brings me to my hidden, not so hidden, traffic source. A traffic source that's making me a lot of money and is an easy win for pretty much everyone who already has traffic to their site if they're using it properly, which is what I intend to show you how to do in this presentation. And that traffic source is, and I know like most of you already know this because I did show it off in the ad that led to this webinar. So I wasn't really trying to hide it for those of you who are like, making fun of me and that I'm saying it's the hidden traffic source and a new traffic source. I was being, sensational essentially, right? I actually showed the traffic source in the ad. So come on, it's Big Mama G. It's Google. And I know what you're thinking. But that's so 2003. I know. This is what I get every time I bring this up with a store owner. I get, Google doesn't work anymore. It's too expensive. Or AdWords sucks, man. I've gotten that actually several times, you guys, believe it or not. But let me share some stats with you. Please, I'd like to. Just a few stats, and then I'll get into showing you what you actually need to do. $83 billion, the amount of money spent that's going to be spent by the end of 2017 on United States digital advertising is expected to be rise by 16% this year and reach $83 billion with a B. Let me pop back here. $83 billion on ad spend. Google is the leader in terms of digital ad dollars, accounting for 40% of the U.S. share this year. 40% of all ad dollars spent are going to be spent on Google. They literally have more than double the market share that Facebook has. More than double the opportunity for visibility that Facebook has. And it's not just search, okay? It's not just Google AdWords search ads where a user is typing in a query on Google and then you're showing up for that query. No, it's YouTube as well. YouTube is huge. Almost 5 billion videos are watched on YouTube every day. YouTube gets 30 million visitors per day. In an average month, 8 out of 10 18 to 49-year-olds watch YouTube. That's like a lot of people in the buying demographic. The average mobile viewing session on YouTube lasts more than 40 minutes. That is insane to me. I've never spent maybe I have spent 40 minutes watching mobile videos on YouTube, but I certainly can't remember the last time that happened, so that's a long time. And the list goes on with stats. I don't want to bore you with stats on YouTube, but YouTube is crazy. And think about it. We can advertise there, and I'm going to show you how. Google Search plus Google Shopping. This is Google Shopping here, where your products show up in Google. This is Google Search, right? This is where a query is typed into Google, and there's us showing up, right? Google owns 77.8% of the United States search ads market. And I know you're thinking, I don't want to run Google ads because people are going to find me. People are going to find me organically. Well, not really. And I'll explain why when I get into showing you how to run Google search ads and where to run them and what to do with them. So we'll get there. It's also the Google Display Network. Now, you may not know about the Google Display Network, but I've been running Google Display Network ads since Google Display Network is the first ad I ever ran, I think back in 2004. I was running what was then the Google Content Network. Google Display Network is huge. It's when you're visiting a blog and you see an ad at the top of that blog. That's a Google Display Network ad. Or you see an ad on the sidebar of that blog. That's a Google Display Network ad. Or you're reading a blog and you see an ad in the middle of the content. That's a Google Display Network ad. You want to hear something crazy about the Google Display Network? A statistic that is genuinely wild. Google Display Network campaigns reach 80% of global internet users. 8 out of 10 global internet users are reached via the Google Display Network. And my guess is that not very many of you are using the Google Display Network very well in your retargeting and your loyalty campaigns. And you know what? You can use it for prospecting too, but I'm aiming to have this webinar presentation just make you more money if you already have a brand. And I'm going to guarantee that if you follow the instructions that I'm about to give you, I'm going to show you the what. I can't really get into every single technical, side of how, but you can either purchase my training that I'm going to offer you, or you can Google it, or you can just get in there and try it. So Google Display Network campaigns are so powerful. You can reach so many people. Consumers who are exposed to display ads are on average 155% more likely to search for a brand and market specific terms for that brand than if they didn't see the display ads. So if you're running display ads, guess what happens? More people search for you. Also, the Google Display Network includes Gmail. This is literally an ad that's in my Gmail account right now. By the way, yes, I do have 178 I have so many unread emails. I think I have 475 unread emails in the promotions inbox. I got 178 unread emails in my primary inbox. Don't email me. That's what I tell people. I literally, if you want to communicate with me, don't email me. You got to text me or Slack me, but don't email me because I'm not answering. But look at this. This is an ad right here. That's a Google Display Network ad. For some reason, Infusionsoft thinks I'm going to buy their stuff. I'm already an Infusionsoft user. You don't have to keep running ads to me. Okay, so it's Google. And it's big, right? I've made those 2 points pretty clear. I mean, you're like, okay, sweet. Yes, Google, traffic source, big traffic source. But how exactly is this relevant to me, Ezra? All right, you got me here on this presentation and you're telling me all this stuff. But what exactly does that mean for me? Remember my 3 pillars of profitability for advertising? This thing right here, right? Where most people are using Facebook for awareness and acquisition, Facebook for retargeting, Facebook for loyalty with Instagram. Well, I can almost guarantee you that you will make more money. In fact, I can 100% guarantee this. There's not a lot of things in this business that I'm willing to come out and 100% guarantee, but I can guarantee you if you add this in, you'll make money. All you got to do, bang, Big Mama G there, and bang, Big Mama G right there. Retargeting and loyalty. If you stick Google in aggressively in your retargeting strategy, once people have visited your website from a Facebook or Instagram ad, which is what most of you are doing to run ads, and in your loyalty strategy on YouTube, once someone has bought from you, running YouTube ads to them to buy more stuff, you're going to make more money. I call this multi-channel retargeting, meaning you've got one main channel that you're using to drive visibility to your brand. And you've got a whole bunch of other channels that you're using to re-engage people after they've visited your website. And the number one place to add on, yes, there's Pinterest, yes, there's Twitter, yes, there's other places, but the number one place to add on to your e-commerce brand after someone has visited your site as a retargeting and loyalty channel is Google. The problem is most people don't have it set up. And if they do, it's not set up properly or as optimized as it possibly could be. So why don't we get started? I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it right. And I'm going to show you what to do and what campaigns you immediately need to set up for your business. The beauty of it is it's set it and forget it, right? It's not a lot of work and it's just going to make you extra money. So we've got to set up a few infrastructural things, meaning there's a few things that you need to have in place or it's going to be hard to do this. So why don't we just run through those real quick? Number one is Google AdWords. You have to sign up for a Google AdWords account. It's just like Facebook advertising, except for it's Google. So you go to adwords.google.com and you sign up for an account. That's pretty simple. You just go through the steps. Google's got a bunch of videos on it. Now, when you sign up for Google AdWords, once you have an AdWords account, the next step is to sign up to Google Merchant Center. Google Merchant Center. You can just go to Google and Google Merchant Center. Search for Google Merchant Center and sign up. And then what happens is whatever e-commerce platform that you are on, if you're on Shopify, if you're on BigCommerce, if you're on Volusion, if you're on Magento, if you're on WooCommerce, whatever you're on, there are connections that allow you to upload what's called a product feed to Google Merchant Center, which is the same exact thing as a dynamic product ad in Facebook, a DPA, right? It's a feed of your products that you upload into Google so that you can dynamically display your products in different places on Google's advertising ecosystem. The same way when you're running a Facebook ad and you have a dynamic product feed, you can dynamically display individual products that a user has viewed across Facebook. Well, this gives you the ability to dynamically display individual products that a user has viewed across Google. And it's really, really sort of simple to do. You upload a feed, sign up for the Merchant Center and upload your feed. Next, you have to create Google Analytics account if you don't already have one, right? So you are, you sign up for Google Analytics, analytics.google.com. You put that on your e-commerce store. Shopify, which is what I use, has a native integration, meaning it's like already connected to Google Analytics. You just put it right in there. And then you connect Google Analytics to Google AdWords. You do it under the tools section. So now you have your Google AdWords, which is the advertising arm of Google, and it's talking to Google Analytics. So it's reading data of what's happening on your website, basically. So that Google AdWords, which is your advertising system for Google, that lets you advertise on YouTube, that lets you advertise on Google Search, that lets you advertise on Google Shopping, that lets you advertise on the Google Display Network. As I'm about to go through, I'm going to show you every one of these campaigns in a moment here. It can talk to your analytics and see what's happening on your store. Step 4, we're almost done with these crazy steps, I promise. Step 4 is you place a Google AdWords conversion pixel, right? So you go to Tools and Conversions, and you create what's called a conversion pixel, the same way that Facebook has a pixel that you place on your website. In this case, you create a conversion pixel and you stick that on your post-purchase thank you page, meaning after someone buys from you, this pixel fires, and now Google knows that someone bought from you. Okay, so that's step 4. Final step is to create what are called remarketing audiences inside of Google, right? So remarketing audiences inside of Google. And you go to Google, you click on audiences, and then you click on remarketing list. And when you do that, so once you have Google AdWords, on the left menu, there's this thing called shared library, which you can see the big left arrow all the way to the left. You click on audiences, you click on create remarketing list. And since Google since Google Analytics, which is the tracking system, is talking to Google AdWords, right? Because we did that in a previous step, and Google AdWords now knows who's been on your website because all that data is inside of Google Analytics. If this is complicated, you can have whoever is your tech person watch this presentation and they will understand it. Basically, you create a remarketing list, the same way that you create audiences inside of Facebook, the same way that you say, hey, I want a group of people who, that have visited my website in the last 30 days. That's how and then you can run ads to those people on Facebook. Google gives you the same thing. So I suggest creating, product visitors, people who visited your product in the last 14 days, people who visited your shopping cart in the last 14 days, people who bought from you, people who bought one thing and not the other, uploading customers, everything that you would do in Facebook. You just redo it in Google. And the beauty of Google is they've got really good documentation on how to do this. I will admit that the Google advertising interface is not as user-friendly and it's not as intuitive as Facebook, but you are able to do the same thing. Now, I know you're thinking, this seems like a lot of work. Well, not really, number one. And number two, it's kind of set it and forget it. So once you set this up, it just makes you money ongoingly, and you don't really have to think about it if you're not using Google for prospecting. And don't worry, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to use Google for prospecting, which is using YouTube, Google Display Network, Google Search, and Google Shopping as a way to get new customers, not just retarget other customers. But first, number 3, it's more profit. You're going to make more money if you do it simply. There's just no way around it. If you do what I'm about to show you how to do, and by the way, we just set up the infrastructure for what I need to show you how to do in the last 5 steps, you're going to make more profit. And then you'll have more money to spend on more ads to generate more customers, and then your business gets bigger. And you can spend that money on better support and better products and all that stuff. Okay, so that is the base infrastructure that you need in place. I'm going to just show you them steps one more time, okay? Step 1, Google AdWords account. Step 2, Google Merchant Center account with a product feed uploaded to it. Step 3, Google Analytics, which is the tracking system, which, by the way, you should already have on your website, connected to Google AdWords so that Google AdWords can talk to Google Analytics. And then step 4, place the conversion pixel on your post-purchase thank you page. Step 5, create those remarketing audiences, meaning groups of people who have visited your website or visited a product or added something to the cart or bought something from you, etc., right? Okay, so we have the base infrastructure. Now, what do we actually do with it? Okay, what do we actually do with it? Campaign number 1. Brand search. So this is the first campaign that I want you to set up. It's called this is inside of Google AdWords. I'm actually going to show you the setup, a little bit of the setup. It's brand search. And so what it means is when someone searches on Google for your brand name or anything close to your brand name, you can show this ad at the top that shows up above all of the search results. And if you look, you can see that Amazon is running ads for my brand name, and I'm running ads for my brand name. And you'll often find that there are competitors trying to run ads for your brand name. So you want to run ads for your brand name for that reason and a few others as I'm about to share with you, okay? So this is brand search. Now take a look at this. These numbers are kind of small, but check this out. 75 cents I'm paying for a sale. This is my cheapest cost per sale of any campaign I've ever had. I'm paying 75 cents for someone to click an ad and come to my store and buy something. Now, you might say, that's, and by the way, it's a 30% conversion rate. 30% of the people who click on this ad buy from me, which is incredible. And the beauty of this campaign is that it grows as your brand grows. So you set it up once, and as your brand grows in popularity, this campaign just makes you more money, right? So step number 1 is you click on create a campaign over here on the left, which is search network only. So when you're creating a campaign in Google, you'll notice that you could do a display network campaign like we talked about. You could do a Google shopping campaign like we talked about. You could do a YouTube campaign like we talked about, or in this case, a search network campaign, which means someone is actually typing in a query into Google and you are showing an ad for that particular query. So you can see once you select the search network, then you can add in your keywords, meaning the words that people are actually typing into Google. In this case, Boom by Cindy Joseph, Boom makeup, any of the keywords that are relevant to my brand. I say, hey, Google, when someone types in this keyword, I want to show up as an ad on Google. I want to show up as an ad. So once you put in your keywords, then you create your ad. You can see here on the left, I've got my ad. They give you this little form that you can fill out to write the ad. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see what the ad actually looks like. Boom by Cindy Joseph, reveal your genuine beauty. And then there's a URL, and then there's a little bit of content. So it's a really simple search ad for Google. Now check this out. You can do something called adding an extension, right? So after you create the ad, you click on this tab in your search network campaign called extensions, and that allows you to put a phone number on the actual ad. And look at that. 35,000 people have clicked on this phone number. And this is what this ad looks like. This is where you can actually see it. So this is when you type in one of my brand keywords on a mobile phone, you can see that first that shows up is the Google shopping ads, which we'll talk about in a minute. And second that shows up is the AdWords ad that I was showing you just a second ago. But at the very bottom of that ad, you see you can click to call. You can actually click to call right from your mobile phone. And we've had 35,000 clicks to call from this ad. So you want to put that phone number extension in there after you build this ad. What else is kind of cool about this is once these ads are up, you can see the age ranges of people who are typing in queries. And you can see 50% of the people who typed in queries about my brand, Google didn't know their age range. But Most of them were 45 to 54, 55 to 64, or 65 plus, which is kind of cool. And you know what else Google gives you the ability to do? Google gives you the ability to say, you know what? Don't show this ad to anyone who's under 45. Don't show this ad to anyone whose age you don't know. So you can literally exclude age ranges. You can exclude other stuff. I'm going to tell you about that a little bit later. So campaign number 1, it's called brand search, meaning when someone is searching for your brand, your ads show up. And you set this up once, you set your budget real low. You can see my budget is set at $300 a day because I get a lot of searches for my brand. You can set your budget at literally $5 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day, right? Something real small until your brand grows in popularity. And what's fascinating, you might say, oh, I don't want to do that because I already rank organically. Well, guess what? About 30% of paid searches, they're not all made up for. When you delete the paid search, someone else bids on your name. Someone doesn't necessarily click on your organic listing. A lot of clicks go to paid search. So you definitely want to use paid search for your brand. It's cheap, it's easy, it's simple, and you just stick it up there. And as your brand grows, you raise the budget, and you're going to make money if you do it, and you're going to not lose out on sales to people like Amazon or other organic people who are ranking for different queries that relate to your brand. I've got some ninja strategies that I'm going to give you in a little bit. Let's move on to campaign number 2, brand shopping. Brand shopping. Similar to campaign number 1, which was brand search. Check this out. $1.50 per conversion. $1.50 per conversion, which means I'm paying $1.50 for every person who clicked on an ad and then purchased from me, which is like super cheap for me. It's in fact like 50 times cheaper than what I normally pay. So this is what brand shopping looks like. You saw it on the mobile phone a second ago. When someone types in a brand related keyword, like in this case, Cindy Joseph Cosmetics for my brand, you're going to see these ads on Google that actually show off my products. These are the product feed ads, right? Now, check this out. If someone is actually in the Google Shopping tab, right? So there's a tab on Google called Google Shopping where people can search for stuff. My products are going to show up there as well. Now, you may not notice this looking at the page, right? But look at this. Merchant links are sponsored. See that? Merchant links are sponsored, which means the only reason that all my products are showing up for this query instead of other people is because I'm paying Google for that, right? I'm paying $1.50 for every time someone buys from me, and I'm forcing Google to show my products up here. So you have to pay for this, but it's well worth it, right? So here's how you do a brand shopping campaign. This is campaign number 2 of the 4 campaigns that I'm going to give you today. So you go to inside of your Google AdWords account after you've built out your base infrastructure, and you click on create a campaign, and then you click on Google Shopping, right? Google Shopping. And it's like super simple because after you've uploaded your feed to Google AdWords, it's real easy to create a Google Shopping campaign. The ads are sort of automatically generated for you. And then what you do is you click on keywords and you add in the keywords that you want your Google Shopping ads to show up for. So if someone types in boom makeup, boom sticks, boom cosmetics on Google Shopping, my products are going to show up there, right? You could also do stuff like, just makeup or just cosmetics. You could do wider keywords. You could do wider keywords for Google search. You could do wider keywords for Google Shopping. That would be prospecting, right? And we're going to talk about prospecting later. That would be using Google Shopping and Google AdWords search as a way to generate awareness for your brand. What I'm teaching you right now is just how to make more money using Google Shopping and Google search at this point, but we're going to get deeper. We're going to talk about YouTube. We're going to talk about the display network for loyalty and for retargeting and loyalty, right? This is retargeting and loyalty. This is people who already know about your brand. That means that they know about you. So it's retargeting or it's loyalty for Google Shopping. Now, are you ready for something ninja? Something that is literally going to blow your mind? Okay? Ninja. This is like, to use the internet marketing lingo term of 2009, if you were around the e-commerce and internet marketing, like community in 2009, 2010, then like ninja was the lingo term that everyone was like adopting. And if you had a cool strategy, it was ninja. Well, this is ninja, but it's like, this is ninja, like it's super ninja, like it's really, 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 really cool. Okay, check this out. Google Shopping, right? Check this out. Do you notice anything here? Do you notice anything here? Number one, I am selected to the Audiences tab. Okay, I'm selected to the Audiences tab. And certain audiences have what's called, this is really high level, whoever's setting up your ads, if it's you, you're going to want to come back to this strategy after you have your ads on Google set up, or if it's your ads person, just give this training to them and let them do it. Look at this. You see the audiences, right? People who visited my product page in the last 14 days. This is a Google Shopping campaign, okay? This is a Google Shopping campaign, right? This isn't a Google Search Network. This isn't Display Network. This isn't YouTube. This is Google Shopping right now. I have what's called a bid adjustment. A bid adjustment, meaning I'm targeting a remarketing audience on Google Shopping, and I'm adjusting my bid to like 900%, meaning normally I would bid, 30 cents. I'm going to bid $6 or something on whatever, just to make sure you're going to see my ad. So here's what that means. If a user is in one of my remarketing audiences, so if someone has visited my product, right, the audiences that I told you to create, I told you to create these audiences in step 3 of our infrastructure, right? So you built these audiences in Google of people who visited your product page, or people who visited your shopping cart, or people who bought from you, etc., right? If a user is in one of those audiences and they go to Google to search for something, anything market related, they'll see our ads. So what we do is we pump up our budgets for search and shopping bids for people who are in our remarketing groups, and we add industry related keywords. So for example, I would never ever bid on the keyword of skincare, right? I would never bid if someone went to Google Search Network, they went to Google and they typed in skincare. I would never bid on that. It's too broad, right? It's way too broad. It's just not, I wouldn't use that. But if someone visits my website and then goes to Google and types in the term skincare, oh, you better believe I want to bid on that, and I want to bid a lot. So if you're confused right now, it's a very advanced strategy. We're layering in where someone is in a sales cycle with aggressive bidding on a secondary platform. So it's like, it's really ninja basically. And it's not going to make you a ton of money because it's going to be small segments, but like, it's a really freaking cool strategy, and it works extremely well. And you can see we've got our bid adjusted up to 700%, right? If someone visits my product page in the last 14 days, and then they go to Google Shopping or they go to Google Search and they type in anything that's related to my industry, if they put in makeup, if they put in cosmetics, if they put in skincare, if they put in anything that's industry related, I'm going buck wild on those bids, right? So anyways, it's cool for those of you, all right? All right, so that's a branded, before I got into that cool strategy, that's a branded Google Shopping campaign, meaning we're running ads on Google Shopping for people who are typing in keywords on Google Shopping that are brand keywords, like, Cindy Joseph, Boom by Cindy Joseph, right? So it's just going to make us more money because we're going to be visible in that environment. And by the way, a lot of people still use Google Shopping to buy stuff. A lot of people still go to Google Search to search for stuff. We want to be visible in that environment. Let's talk about campaign number 3, Display Network retargeting. Now, remember when I said that the Display Network covers 80% of the internet? So that means that if a user goes to your website from a Facebook ad, which is probably where you're running most of your ads, and they visit your website, and then the next day they're chilling out on Fox.com or CNN.com or NBC.com or any blog, I don't know why I'm thinking of news websites, but any blog website that they like, they're chilling on that site. Guess what? They're not going to see your Facebook ads, but they could see your Google ads. And we make a lot of money with retargeting on the Display Network because it covers 80% of the internet. So take a look at this. You can see we've got our audiences here. In this case, this is people who visited my shopping cart in the last 7 days. And I'm spending about $14 to generate a conversion in that case. 2,000 conversions I've generated. So these are people who visited my cart in the last 7 days who didn't see a Facebook ad. They were now off of Facebook, or they were just somewhere on some Google website, and I was able to recover what you can see is 2,600 sales, which at an average of like $80 is a lot of money, right? It's like $200,000 in sales that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't running Google Display Network retargeting, banner advertising on Google. So you can see here, if you drill a little deeper, I have multiple audiences in this case, right? This is people who viewed my shopping cart in the last 7 days. Those people, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with my bidding. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with my, ads, because they visited the shopping cart more recently, right? Visited the shopping cart in the last 7 days. You can see that they're costing me $12 a conversion, but people who visited my shopping cart in the last 15 to 30 days, for example, cost me more, but I'm still targeting them. Now, what you need to understand about the display network is that it's banner advertising. So basically, it's like when someone's visiting a blog or they're on a website, Google is going to put banners on that website. They're going to put image banner ads all over that website, and that is where you have the opportunity to target someone. If you're using Google Display Network retargeting, you can see here that these are the most common Google Display image sizes. You can get someone on Fiverr to make these for you if you don't have a designer. So basically what you do is you go to create a campaign and you choose Display Network, right? You choose the Display Network, which is Google's network of partner websites, which covers 80% of the internet. This isn't Google Shopping. This isn't Google Search, right? This is the Display Network. And then you create your desired ad groups, like people who visited your product page, or like you were looked at, just like you saw me doing, people who visited my shopping cart in the last 7 days, right? And you create banner image ads in the correct sizes. Google gives you the sizes that you need. And then what you can do at that point is, after you got the campaign set up, is you can come into one. You'll notice there's a set of, the way Google works is it works in a set of tabs. So you can see that I have the Display Network tab selected, and I'm able to, within that tab, there are sub tabs. So you can see here that it then says demographics, and I'm able to, you can see that, 49% of the people who are seeing my ads are 65 plus, 34% are 55 plus, 16% are 45 plus, right? But take a look at this. Why is nobody under 45 seeing the ad and nobody who's unknown seeing the ad? Because in that tab, I excluded men. Okay, so let's just show you this tab again, right? So I'm Display Network, demographics, right? Display Network and demographics. I selected gender, and I excluded men, and I excluded unknown gender, which means Google is never going to show my ads to people whose gender they don't know and to people who are men. They will never see one of my ads, right? And then that's because I selected the gender tab and I excluded male and unknown gender. And then I went to age, which is the next tab over, age, and I said exclude anyone under 44, because I know that people under 44 don't buy my stuff. So I excluded them, right? So Google's allowing me to really be specific about really be specific about who's going to see these ads. Now, here's what's crazy about the Google Display Network, right? We talked about Google Display Network being banners that follow people all over the internet after they've visited your website, banners on blogs that people are reading. You can actually exclude specific placements, right? So after you've been running your ads for a while, you can exclude specific placements. So what you can see here is, here I am on the Display Network tab, and instead of demographics, which is what I had selected before, I've selected placements, right? And you can see that, for instance, NewYorkTimes.com for me is a really profitable placement. Here's what's crazy about this, you guys, is we can literally see what actual blogs out there on the internet are profitable for us to run ads on after we've been running ads on them, right? So for me, for some reason, the NewYorkTimes.com is a really good placement to run ads on for my website. $25 conversions. These are, by the way, I'm also using the Google Display Network for prospecting. I'm using the Google Display Network for what I call acquisition. to generate. This is not a retargeting. What you're looking at is not retargeting data. That $25 per conversion is new people who've never seen me before, who I got their attention for the first time ever by running an ad on the Google Display Network, which showed up on NewYorkTimes.com. A user from NewYorkTimes.com clicks on that and then buys my site. So here I can see that New York Times, boy, that's a real good placement for me. You know what I ought to do? I had to reach out to the New York Times and say, hey, why don't you just let me run an ad directly on your website? Because, well, you know what, the New York Times, when they have Google on there, Google's only pay. If I pay Google on average, what's it saying, 62 cents a click. If I pay Google on average 62 cents a click here, New York Times only getting 30 cents of that, right? Only half of that. So I can go to New York Times and say, hey, listen, I'll pay you 40 cents. And I know it's a good placement. I can also see the placements that suck, right? This placement has been excluded because it was costing me $141 for a sale. I don't want to pay $141 for a sale. So I come in every now and again. I click on Display Network. I click on Placements. And I take a look at what specific placements my ads are running on and how they're performing, right? So you get a lot of data with Google. I would argue you get more data with Google than you do with Facebook. If you're really, really willing to dig into the data, which I'll show you how to do if you end up going through my course, you get a lot of data with Google. And I love being able to exclude placements when I'm running Display Network banner campaigns. So the third place, and you'll make a lot of money retargeting on the Display Network because it covers so much of the internet. You can do really specific retargeting audiences, like retarget people who visited your product page in the last 7 days. If you just do that, just add in banner retargeting, you set it up once, okay? Set up your campaign for Display Network, set up the ad set audience of people who visited your products in the last 7 days, and run banner ads, and you will make money. Simple as that. Now, campaign number 4, YouTube remarketing. Check this out, you guys. $2.68. Okay, you remember when I showed you over there on, I was showing you on the Display Network running ads to people who visited my cart in the last 15 days and it was costing like $22? Look at this. YouTube video retargeting is costing me 1/10 the cost of people who visited my shopping cart in the last 15 days who see my ad on YouTube cost $3 as opposed to like, $15 on Facebook and $22 on the Google Display Network. So obviously I'm running ads everywhere that I can for that particular audience. And because I'm such a big business, right? I'm such a big business and I, spend so much on ads. My retargeting ads and stuff are more expensive than yours are going to be, but this is crazy. $2.68 to get a sale after someone visited my shopping cart by running a YouTube ad. Now, one of the reasons that it works so well is because we combine YouTube and Google Shopping. So when someone who's visited my shopping cart comes over and they're then on YouTube hanging out later, maybe I sent them to my website from Facebook, which is where I send most of my traffic, right, from Facebook. Then they viewed a product and they added it to the cart and then they left. But then they happen to be on YouTube within the next 15 days. Not only are they going to see my video on YouTube, but my video is going to be overlaid with Google Shopping product ads. So not only is it a video that links to my website, but also they're seeing the individual products that they may have perused or may have been in their cart. And I've got this banner over here on the right-hand side of the video also showing off my products. So I'm combining a Google Shopping product feed and a YouTube advertisement as a way to re-engage someone who visited my website, visited a product, visited the shopping cart, but then abandoned the sales process. And it's a super powerful remarketing strategy. And boy, I will tell you, I've had folks in my mastermind who weren't using the Google Display Network for remarketing and weren't using YouTube for remarketing and just implemented that and grew by 15%. So you can really add a lot of growth to your bottom line just by adding these remarketing channels, using the different Google channels for remarketing. So, what you do is you click on campaign and you select video, right? So campaign and video instead of like we did search network, we did display network, we did shopping. In this case, we're doing video here. At which time, after you do that, Google's going to say, okay, what video? Now, you have to actually have the video uploaded to your YouTube account already. You have to already have the video uploaded to your YouTube account in order for you to be able to use it. So you put in your YouTube video URL. Google then automatically loads that up and says, okay, put in your display URL and put in the ad name and you're good to go. So that's what it's pretty simple to set up. Now, I guarantee you'll make more money and get a better ROI on your ad spend if you use Big Mama G for retargeting and for loyalty. 100%. I can really just confidently say that. Not a lot of people are doing it because they don't understand the technology infrastructure of Google. It's not really popular right now. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but I got to tell you, if you use those 4 campaigns that I just gave you, which I just showed you what to do, and I went into how a little bit. I didn't go into every little tiny detail on how. I'd have to be here for 8 hours, but if you do that, you're going to make more money. But you might say, hey, Ez, what if I also want to use Big Mama G for prospecting? What if I want to use Google for awareness and acquisition, right? To get new people into my sales process. Well, in that case, I would say a couple little tips are, number 1, let Google tell you who to target. So what you can do is once you've created a audience inside of Google, like for example, you have in this case all my purchasers. So right now you're seeing data. You're literally seeing data on everyone who's ever bought from me. And what's interesting about this, here's what's fascinating about it, is Google will say, hey, you wouldn't know this, but all of your buyers are also into rugs and carpets. So Google will tell you what targeting. So like unlike Facebook, Facebook is starting to do this, but Google is saying, hey, listen, your people mostly shop on tablets. They're mostly women. They're mostly 55 to 64, and they like rugs and carpets, handbags, bargain hunters, and home decor enthusiasts. So you literally get data from Google. Google will tell you sort of how relevant these different targeting audiences are. So if you're going to use Google for prospecting, if you're going to use Google or YouTube or the display network or shopping or search for prospecting, for awareness and acquisition, then upload a list of your buyers as the first step, and then let Google tell you who it thinks those people are, and then target those people. Obviously, you want to create lookalike audiences also, right? So you can upload your email subscribers, or you can create a lookalike of people who visited your website, and you can target those folks as well. A bonus tip is to retarget YouTube viewers, right? So if you're going to run YouTube ads, what you can do inside of Google is you can create a audience of people who viewed a video from your channel, or who liked a video or shared a video or subscribed to the channel or viewed certain videos. You can create an actual audience of people who have done that, and you can retarget them as well. So if you're using YouTube for prospecting to generate new visibility to your brand, you can also retarget those people. So, okay, phew, that was a lot of stuff, But now you know on a high level what to do to quickly add Google as a strong retargeting channel. And if you implement 1/4 of this, you'll definitely be more profitable. Now, for those of you who are interested, like I discussed at the beginning of this training, here's the opportunity to do this with me, essentially, and to get all of my other Google strategies that I didn't really have the time to give you on this presentation. So if you're not interested in what I have to offer, now's the time to bail. If you are interested, I'd love to tell you about it. And I think it's going to help you grow your business, especially if you want to implement Google as a traffic source in your brand and you want some help doing that. I'd like to introduce to you Smart Google Traffic Beta. So this is our new training program on how we're using Google ads, display network ads, YouTube ads, search ads, shopping ads, all combined to grow our business and make more money with retargeting, and to do prospecting as well on Google. It's a live 6-week course with Brett Curry and me. So Brett Curry has one of the fastest growing Google Premier Partner agencies from 2016. He's in the top 3% of all Google agencies. He's Google certified, he's YouTube certified, shopping certified, and mobile certified. He manages 100% of my Google ad spend. Google is actually doing a video case study on him. He's got 8 kids. Yes, 8. He's a salt of the earth. He's a gem of a human being, and he's an all-around really good dude. Just love this guy, and he's so smart. And obviously, this is him at Google. He really knows what he's doing. So what is in Smart Google Traffic Beta? Well, I call it the train your traffic person on Google. So basically, literally, you just give this to your ads person or do it yourself and follow along live and get everything set up properly. Now, this is going to be kind of wild here as we go through this, right? I'm just going to bring you quickly through the 5 modules. Module 1 is Tech Nasty. So this is setting up shop and building your accounts. Basically, we're going to build your A-team of technology. So everything sort of serves a unique role and works together. And in this session, we're going to walk through the creation of accounts and linking everything together for success. So we want to have insights and strategy that are fueled by data, right? So we're going to essentially get you an enterprise level Google Analytics account for free. So you'll have remarketing lists and goals and e-commerce settings and assisted conversions. The beauty of Google is that you can really see the conversion path in Google. You can really see exactly what's happening in a way that you can't on Facebook. We'll set up your YouTube, your Merchant Center, your AdWords remarketing. We'll really just get your infrastructure set up really well. Like we're going to do it all from scratch. If you already have some set up, I promise you, you do not have your Google infrastructure this well set up. Your remarketing tags, what lists you need to create, your time decay. It's all going to be, we're going to talk about whether or not, what kind of attribution to use. Like it's going to be a really in-depth tech setup. Module 2, we're going to set up our remarketing and display ads. So we'll cover list creation, ad creation, using lists from AdWords versus using lists from the Google Display Network. We'll talk about dynamic remarketing. We will talk about smart lists, which is a really fascinating new Google feature that lets you do remarketing. Product visitors, cart visitors, purchasers, bot X and not Y, customer match. We'll do all visitors, cart abandoners. We're going to do all of the sort of remarketing list setup and setup of those campaigns. Module 3, we're going to get into the branded search campaign. So covering the importance of building those branded campaigns that we talked about, keeping competitors from bidding on your keywords, helping your overall AdWords account health. It'll also lay the groundwork for anyone who might be interested in using Google AdWords for prospecting. So we'll go over bidding. We'll go over ad group setup, keyword targeting, the match types. We'll just show you how to use the Google Search Network for the remarketing brand campaigns. Module 4, we'll get into Google Shopping. And Google Shopping is the leading comparison shopping engine on the market. So, there's basically product searches. When someone's typing in a search for an actual product, they're either going to start on Amazon or Google. And we'll cover using Google Shopping as a remarketing vehicle for brand searches, as I discussed. We're going to implement that campaign, but we'll also lay the groundwork for people who want to use Google Shopping for prospecting. So we'll do feed creation and optimization. We'll do campaign setup and structure. We'll do bidding strategies. We'll get your Google Shopping implemented. Then module 5, we're going to use YouTube and shoppable view, what I showed you with regard to our YouTube campaigns. So we're going to combine YouTube pre-roll video ads with Google Shopping product listing ads, like you saw a few minutes ago on my campaign. And we're going to cover how to set up the shoppable TrueView ads as the perfect remarketing vehicle and as a great platform to launch new products to existing customers. And I gotta say, I think this is one of the more powerful modules in the course because understanding how to leverage YouTube and Google Shopping together as a remarketing strategy, gosh, there's just so much power there, so much profit there. And it will also lay the groundwork for people who want to use YouTube for prospecting because the bonus module is on how to use Google for prospecting. We'll show you how to leverage Google's ad ecosystem for awareness and prospecting campaigns, for search campaigns, Google Shopping campaigns, display campaigns, and YouTube campaigns. That's the bonus module. It's not really what the course is about, but I figure since we're doing a course on Google, we should cover prospecting. Why not? Now, you'll also get the professionally recorded version of this course. So this is the beta. This is you going through it with me and Brett live. And then when that's over, we're going to professionally re-record it based on what we learned from you in the beta, where people struggled, what we need to add. So you're actually going to get 2 courses. You're going to get this beta version. And then once we're done with the live sessions, we're going to go back, we're going to re-record everything, but we'll do it based on the information that we get from the first go around. We'll make it better, and then you'll get that as well. The live schedule is week 1 is Thursday 11:30, week 2 is December 5th, week 3 is December 14th, week 4 is December 21st, week 5, which is week 5 will be in the members area because Christmas is happening and stuff, so we won't have a live session there between Christmas and New Year's, but we will have week 5 in the members area on December 28th, and then you'll get those bonuses the first week of January. You'll also get a fully professionally recorded version 2.0 in March, meaning we'll do this whole thing live. So by January 1st, you will be ready to just rock Google in 2018. to have Google be a real legitimate source of revenue for you in 2018. That'll be ready by January. But then in March, you'll get a fully updated course with anything new that we've figured out, and also a full professional version that is not gone through live. That's not a 1 hour webinar. It'll be individual little videos that you could give to your ads person. This training is perfect if you're already spending money on traffic or if you already have traffic for your store. It will literally help you maximize every dollar spent and every visitor to your site. It's really what it's for. We touch on prospecting. Yes, we have a bonus module on prospecting, on awareness and acquisition. But this is not a prospecting course, okay? I really want you to understand that. If you have a brand that is making money, where you have people coming to that store, where you're spending money on ads or you got organic traffic or whatever, I guarantee this course will make you more money because you'll have Google set up properly, and Google covers a large swath of the internet. So you might be thinking, how much? Sounds good. I'm interested in implementing Google for my brand. How much is it going to cost me? And by the way, I will answer all of your questions at the end of this presentation as soon as I'm done through it. So usually we charge $14.97 for our courses, $1,497. Maybe that's what we'll charge when we have the professionally recorded version, but that's not how much we're going to charge for the live beta. So we usually charge $14.97, but for now, for the next 5 days only, you can get access for $9.97. That is literally 4 live 90-minute sessions with me and Brett, plus Module 5 in the members area by December 28th, plus the bonus module on prospecting, plus the full recorded professional version in March. You can go to smartmarketer.com/SGT, which stands for Smart Google Traffic, smartmarketer.com/SGT to join this course. And remember, the first live presentation is on Thursday, 11:30. There is a full 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee because, listen, I would not be around. I always say this, I wouldn't be around as long as I have been if I didn't really care about my community, if I didn't really stand behind the products that I put out. I'm one of the biggest influencers in this space, if not the biggest, because I put out good stuff, because I actually do this stuff, and because I actually care. This will be available for the next 5 days. You can go to smartmarketer.com/SGT. Here's what you get. Just as a reminder, 5 weeks live with Brett Curry and Ezra Firestone. That's me. Full Google remarketing system, including Google Shopping, YouTube, Google Display, Google Search. You get the bonus module on prospecting with Google. You get a full professionally recorded version of this, and you get beta group access to those live trainings. You can do this. My results aren't typical, but if you already have a brand, this one is much easier to implement. This is much easier to implement than a lot of stuff that I teach because it's literally set it and forget it Google remarketing. It's just understanding how to use Google, how to do it right, how to set it up properly, and how to optimize it for the best practice. Usually we sell stuff for $14.97. That's what the cost of our courses are. In this case, this is a live beta with me and Brett, $997, smartmarketer.com/SGT, full 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee. And now I'm going to answer your questions. It's just to show you what that looks like. When you go to smartmarketer.com/SGT, you're going to be taken to this page. You can pay $997 one time, or you can break it up over 2 payments, but it'll end up costing you $200 more to do it that way. You click the Get Started button, and that will take you to a payment form that you can fill out. You can check out with PayPal, or you can not check out with PayPal, use your credit card, and complete your purchase. Available for the next 5 days, smartmarketer.com/SGT. Now let me start taking some questions. All right. Ezra, is this for drop shipping? I don't see why it can't work for drop shipping. I mean, if you're running traffic and you're sending people to product offer pages and some of them are not buying, then this is a great training. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. I love it, Ezra. Have to go to dinner, but thank you so much. You're welcome. Let's see. Someone wanted to know, what is the program and how much was it? 15 minutes in. It's dude, I got to give you some value before I start trying to sell you something. I want you to actually be able to take and use the content that I'm sending out. Can this work for offers hosted on a specific platform? Sure. This will work for any offer hosted anywhere because it's not about where you're hosting the offer. It's about whether or not you're retargeting, whether or not you're retargeting, properly. Are you live right now? Yes, I am. Right now, as I am talking, it is 9:13 p.m. on Eastern Time, Thursday, November 16th, and this offer will be available, I think, for the next 5 or 6 days. So I'm not going to, dude, I don't know, you clearly haven't been hanging out with me for very long. If I tell you I'm live on a training, I'm live on a training. I'm not going to just say I'm live on, does that even work? To tell someone that it's a live presentation when it's not a live presentation? Isn't that just kind of like not very cool? Isn't that just kind of douchey? I think it probably, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I have a business that's generating sales mostly through Amazon. I want to drive sales beyond Amazon. I've not really started with Facebook ads yet. If you're just only on Amazon, I'd probably start by running ads on Facebook somewhere else. Start generating visibility for that brand, and then use this later once you got some visibility. Do I need to have a website? Yes, you would need to have a website. You got yourself a student. Thank you so much. John has joined. Timothy has joined. Thanks for joining, Tim. Thanks, John. I'll read out the other folks in just a minute. Do you have a course for driving traffic specifically? We have a new startup that is a cosmetic brand. I've been testing ads on Instagram, but haven't had much luck. Yes, I do. It's called Smart Facebook Video Ads. We're doing a revamp of it January 1st. So the first week of January, you'll see a sales presentation from me on how to use Facebook and Facebook Messenger to grow your business. You can buy my old course, which is still a great course. It's called Facebook Video Ads Mastery. Really goes through my whole philosophy on advertising, and I highly recommend it. You can go to smartmarketer.com and go to courses and find Facebook Video Ads Mastery. Do you spend more on Google or Facebook? At this time, I spend more on Facebook, but I spend a lot on Google. I think I spend $200,000 a month on Google. Let's see. I can't hear you right now. Sorry about that. We've started our business just a few days ago, so I don't think this would be suitable for us just yet. What course would you recommend? Not a live one because it's 3 a.m. here at the moment, so not the best timing. Yeah, you can, obviously all these will be recorded and you can get the recordings. I think if you just started your business, Facebook Video Ads Mastery is probably the course that you want. Learn how to run Facebook ads, for sure. Another question. Our business is a sex shop, so we cannot use Facebook for prospecting. Would you recommend? Yeah, Google is a little bit more lenient with the display network with regard to adult novelty brands. I've known of a couple other adult novelty brands as well, and that's what Google labels it as, right? It doesn't sound as bad as like sex shop. Adult novelties, I think, is like it's like sex toys essentially, right? Yeah, so that's a little bit more lenient on Google. Let's see. Yes, Facebook Messenger course in January. How do I get access to the video training course, Facebook video ads? You can email us, help@smartmarketer.com, or live chat us and say, hey, I want to buy your Facebook course, and we'll hook you up with that. I want a sex shop business, lol. Someone is interested in purchasing your adult novelty brand, whoever you are. Would this be good for financial services? Absolutely, because Google remarketing is relevant for Google covers 80% of the internet, dude. So I highly recommend that you do it. Is it relevant for any level of knowledge with AdWords and analytics? Yeah, because we're going to set it all up from scratch. Let's see. I have your Facebook Video Ads Mastery. What will the updated be in the revamp? So Facebook Video Ads Mastery I released about a year ago, and it was about Facebook video ads, and I'm going to do another Facebook course. It won't really be a revamp. It'll be a whole new course that'll be going more deeply into Facebook Messenger and stuff. So it's not really the same course, actually. It's a new Facebook course that I'll put out. I try to do one Facebook course a year because generally Facebook changes essentially once a year, once every 18 months. But my Facebook Video Ads Mastery course is still, I think, the best training course out there for e-commerce business owners on Facebook. Would it work for services as opposed to physical products? Yes. Dude, Google is amazing for retargeting, regardless of what you're retargeting about. Anyone who visits your website, frankly, I think Google is probably better for financial services or service-based businesses or local businesses than Facebook. I would totally use Google over Facebook for a service business. Everyone is like super interested in the Facebook course. This was about Google, you guys. Okay, I've been running Google ads for remarketing for 3 months. Trying to optimize them. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there. Okay, Facebook Video Ads Mastery is awesome. I was doing fairly advanced Facebook ads. I still learned a ton. Thanks, man. How much would you, let's see. I'll definitely be buying the course. Thanks, BJ. I appreciate it. Can we have a video recording for this webinar? Yes, for the next 5 days you can. How much spend would you suggest per day to get started? Well, that's really depends on like how much traffic you have. So it doesn't have to be a lot, because the beauty of this is like if you set this retargeting infrastructure up, then it's set up, and then as you scale, it's there. So it's better to set it up early, actually. Will there be documents from the live sessions? Yes, we will have slides for you that you'll be able to download and get access to, and maybe some worksheets. I'm not 100% sure. I have to talk to Brett. Geez, there's a lot of questions coming in. Let's see. Hey, Ezra, is there any big mistakes in marketing? Okay, I'm not going to do random questions. I'm going to answer questions about Google. I just bought. Thanks, David. I appreciate you joining the course. When you recommend, Ezra, if we already have traffic from Facebook, the second step is Google and YouTube or advanced email marketing. Oh boy, that's tough. I mean, my email course is really, really good. It's one of my favorite courses I've ever done, is my email course. But probably I'd go with Google, just so that because basically like Google's going to help you save a bunch of sales. So is my email course. I don't know. They're pretty similar. That's a tough one for me. Can you direct me to your email course, please? Yes. Email help@smartmarketer.com and say, hey, I want to purchase the email course. It's a really freaking good course. Oh my God. It might be the best one we've ever done. We've done a lot of good courses, but that email course is really, really good. And we'll get you a link to it. I bought every course you have except for Facebook video ads. If you have a coupon for Emerald members. Listen, man, I appreciate you purchasing my courses. It's really awesome. Thank you so much. And I don't have just a random discount, because I try to price them really competitively and I try to price them low. And believe it or not, like I'm not making just gobs of money on my education business. Like, I'm doing all right, but like I'm trying to be competitive, and I'm also investing a lot in support and infrastructure and advertising and stuff like this. So, I try to price them competitively. Anyways, will you, let's see, make a new course or update again about your advanced email targeting? I don't think the email course needs a new course, because it's really fresh. We just did it a couple months ago, and it's such a good course. I just added some modules to it, actually. So I don't think the email course needs anything done. Let's see. I model a lot of your strategies. Just wanted to say thanks for everything. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really do. What's fulfilling about this, by the way, like one of the reasons why I keep doing Smart Marketer, and like, because look, obviously Boom is more profitable than Smart Marketer or Zipify or BeFriendly or any of my other things that I'm doing. And Boom, I think, has a real path to $100 million plus. Like, I really see a 9-figure path there. So a lot of times people say, hey, like, why wouldn't you just drop everything? Like, really, literally just drop everything and just focus full out on Boom and really try to make Boom a $100 million brand. And to that, I would answer, I love Boom. It's a great brand. I'm super enthusiastic about it. I'm super excited about it. And I work really hard on it. But I also feel like there's a law of diminishing returns. And if you just burn yourself into the ground on one thing, then you don't have, it's just like, I feel like it gets a little monotonous. And also, I love hearing the success stories. I love it when we get Facebook comments and emails like, oh man, I used this stuff that I learned from you and it really helped me, and I made a lot more money, and my business grew, and I was able to send my kids to college, or I was able to take my family on a vacation, or I was able to invest and donate to a local charity or invest in my community. Like, I just love that, it just feels really good. Like, I don't know how else to articulate that. It's a really rewarding experience to be able to share what works for me. And obviously, guys, like, I don't only have paid courses. I have tons of free content. I've got free content in my blog. I got free content in podcasts. I do these educational webinars where the first hour is always free value add content. Like, I'm out there. I have every level of content. I've got paid content, which is gated behind a login wall, and I've got free content. And so, anyways, the point is that it feels really good to do these things. Thanks, Ezra. You're the number one mentor for me on this e-commerce world. I'm going to join Blue Ribbon in 2019. Cool, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Since there's so much setting, tracking, and tweaking involved, any chance you offer a Facebook group to answer questions while the beta course is live. Let me think about that. Depends on how many people we get. Depends on Brett Curry. The truth of the matter is, like Google was my first. Google was my first traffic source. I'm really, really familiar with the Google, the Google AdWords interface. So I'm pretty dang good at Google. But over the last year, Brett Curry has really been actively managing my campaigns. So the new technical infrastructure, like Google just updated their interface. There's some new infrastructure with Google Shopping and YouTube. So I think it's really going to depend on whether or not I can convince Brett to do that, because I can't actually monitor the Facebook group, and obviously I'm trying to run all these companies. Like I can't be. I'm going to be live on these calls, but and we have full support. But a lot of the technical stuff is going to be answered by Brett, so I haven't gotten his agreement on that. Brent wants to know if we've picked a venue for e-commerce All-Stars 2018. We have. E-commerce All-Stars 2018 is going to be in Colorado. I believe it's going to be in Denver. And it's going to be August 3rd and 4th. You can expect us to start selling tickets for that right around January. It'll be a really great event. We're probably going to cap it at a couple hundred people, 400 people, something like that, so it doesn't get too crazy. We're going to bring in some big name speakers. We're going to be sharing stuff. I hope that you can make it. It'd be super fun to have you there. How about Pinterest? Is there an update coming? Yeah, we got to redo our Pinterest training. It's just looked like I felt like Google was more useful. So I have to organize. Like I mentioned, I have to organize this in such a way that we can actually produce world-class trainings, and they take a while. They're really hard to do, which is why we always run them. You may have noticed a trend. We run these things live. So we do a live beta version, and then we go back and we do a professionally recorded version, so that we can guarantee that our professionally recorded version is as good as it can be, and we can only learn that from running it live once first. And so that's why we do that. But we will do an update to our Pinterest, but it won't be till 2018. Like January or February, somewhere in there. Can AdRoll and Google Display Ads overlap with each other and result in a higher cost per click? I'm sure they can. But if you're running, I don't use AdRoll personally. I think AdRoll is for people who don't really know what they're doing. I mean, no offense to AdRoll. I just think it's like easy, a few clicks and it's up. You don't really get the level of optimization that I'm talking about. You're not going to have as sophisticated of an advertising strategy as I'm talking about here with Google remarketing if you're using AdRoll. So I would kind of recommend, instead of using AdRoll for Google remarketing, that you set it up yourself. I know it takes a little bit more, a little bit more. So Jake wants to know what percentage of the sales that we would have gotten organically for the brand search ads rather than paying for ads do we think? Look at this. For brand search, we're paying 78 cents a purchase. I make $85 to $100 on a purchase. I'm paying 78 cents for that. And I'm guaranteeing that someone's not clicking on another ad. I'm guaranteeing that someone's not clicking on someone else's Google Shopping link. I'm guaranteeing that someone's not clicking on an organic result that might be someone negatively reviewing me or some article that's ranking for me for one of these random keywords. So I don't know exactly how many people would have found me organically if I didn't have the paid search ads, but I can tell you that the paid search ads make me a lot of money, and I feel real comfortable having them up there. And I know for a fact that I'm getting people who would have gone to review articles or other places like that, or other brands or Amazon if I wasn't there. In the beta version, will you explain it step by step about the technical things, or is it just a presentation with Keynote like Colleen in Smart Project Management? This will be 100% live inside of Google AdWords, step by step, all of the technical, all of it, 100% of the technical setup. That's the whole point of this course. You could take everything that I just told you in this webinar, and you could get out there and try to implement it yourself, and you probably get some good results, but they wouldn't be as good as if you followed along with us and then got our training course after we do the live version on it. So my idea here was to give you a bunch of the strategies. Obviously, I can't give you all of our strategies in one presentation, but I give you a bunch of the strategies, the high level ones that allow you to implement this on your own if you're that kind of person, or if you're interested in joining us and doing it live with us and getting all the additional strategies and the full technical setup, then you can join the course. But you definitely have enough information to get after it now. Can you let us know how long each session will be? I can say there'll be a minimum of 90 minutes. I like to try to keep these things under 2 hours. But boy, we got a lot to cover, So you're in for a minimum of 90 minutes, but you can watch the replay. You know what I mean? You can watch it in 2 chunks. Will there be a replay of this webinar? Yes, there will be. When will you open the Smart Marketer community? We will not reopen the Smart Marketer e-commerce community, and I'll tell you about that later. How about an Instagram class or Facebook Messenger class? Yep, those are coming. I've always wanted to go to Colorado, Merrill says. Awesome. Ezra, I don't have an e-commerce store. I was able to, but I was able to start consulting with the skills I learned from you and eventually raised capital to start my own store. That's super cool, man. That's super cool. Do the people, let's see. What about Pinterest? We're not doing Pinterest right now. Rico Glover's in. Thanks for joining, Rico. Let me quickly shout out the folks who've joined here. Let me just pop up a link to the folks who joined, and I'm going to call them out by name here. Hold on one second, and then I'll keep answering questions. All right. So, who do we have in the Smart Google Traffic course, the live beta version with me and Brett Curry? While that's loading, I'll answer one more question here. Okay, always great content. Your webinars are top notch. I learned a ton from you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can we see what's included in the Smart Google Traffic training? Yes, right here. I'll go through those slides one more time. This is module 1. And this is module 2. And this is module 3. And this is module 4. And this is module 5. And then this is the bonus module. Let me see if I can get a new tab open here. I'd love to be able to call out the names of the folks who joined. That this webinar is like wanting to be over because my audio keeps cutting out. So I apologize about that. But I will just shout out quickly the folks who've joined Smart Google Traffic. So we've got John Hutchison, David Vollmer, we've got Maurice Stahl, Enrico Glover, we've got Bo. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to go ahead and end this presentation now because my internet's really poor up here in upstate New York. We're having a bit of a thunderstorm. So, hey guys, thank you so much for taking some time to hang out with me on a Thursday night. I really appreciate your time. I know that, if you just keep at it, you'll be more and more successful. I mean, really, that is the key. That is the recipe for success, is consistency. Consistently keep your attention on growing your business. Consistently put your attention in the direction of getting better. Show up every day with a positive attitude. Show up and really give it your all. And implement the best strategies that you can. Learn from wherever you can. Find a mentor, find someone whose content you like. Always be learning, always stay humble, always remember that you're a student and that there's more to go, there's more to learn. If you're interested in Smart Google Traffic, I'd love to have you in the training program. If not, I hope you got some value out of this presentation. My name is Ezra Firestone from smartmarketer.com. Thank you so much. I'll catch up with you later.